What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Got some information coming out, man, about Manny Pacquiao's next opponent, and it will be Mikey Garcia. Fight will take place in early 2020, probably sometime in January. That fight will take place against Mikey Garcia. A lot of people is gonna scoff at this matchup, like, "Oh man, Manny's fighting Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia just got washed by Errol Spence. How he deserve a shot against Manny Pacquiao?" Yeah, one reason why he deserves a shot is he got a fan base. He's got the Latino people backing him. You know, he can draw from people from Southern California. You got the people from the country of Mexico, and you got people from all over the United States. You know, that's gonna back him. That are Latinos, so it's gonna be he's got that backing, and that's one of the reasons that's gonna drive a pay-per-view with a fight between him and Manny Pacquiao. We all know Manny Pacquiao is gonna draw a lot of different people to his fights, so that's the main reason, man. He's an undefeated, he was undefeated champion. He's a multi-division champion. Only one loss, it was to Errol Spence, and that's when he stepped up 2 weight classes. Didn't even get stopped though. Got dominated, but showed a good chin and showed a keen sense of how to survive, you know, in a fight that he was getting dominated in. So it's you got to give at least kudos for him for doing that. But as far as a matchup with him and Manny Pacquiao, it's a great fight, man. It's a great fight. This fight reminds me, Mikey Garcia. Let's make this straight. Mikey Garcia reminds me a lot of Juan Manuel Marquez. His style is very similar to Juan Manuel Marquez. Very similar style. I think Mikey's probably a little bit faster than Marquez. I think Marquez probably has more power. His power has carried as he moved up in weight. Marquez moved up in weight, his power carried. So far, Garcia power that he had at 135 has not carried to 140 or 147. So I show that's the difference. Both guys are very underrated boxers. Both guys have great timing. And both guys, you know, are good fighters. You know, Mikey has a good jab. Marquez had a good jab. You know, Mikey is a good body puncher. Marquez is a good body puncher. Their styles are very similar. So that makes for a great fight with Manny Pacquiao. As we looked at all the epic battles between Pacquiao and Marquez, they fought 4 times, and the first 3 fights were very close. Could have went either way. And the 4th fight was an epic back and forth battle. It looked like Pacquiao was finna go in for the kill as he had Marquez reeling, and then Marquez came in with a shot from the heavens, a straight right hand, as Pacquiao came in and was able to put Pacquiao to sleep in a dramatic knockout. So this fight is going to be similar to maybe the first 3 fights. I think Pacquiao has got a little bit more defensively responsible since that fight. You know, since that fight. His fights afterwards, he didn't come in with reckless abandon like he did and got away with for most of his career. You know, he's been a little bit more cautious as far as jumping in and jumping in head first, and put it like that. Even though in the last Thurman fight, he caught a lot of shots, man, and Thurman was able to hit him with, especially in those middle rounds. And I thought his defense was really poor in that fight, Pacquiao. He was able to win that fight, you know, with he landed the 2 significant punches of that fight. The straight hand, the straight left. He was able to catch Thurman while Thurman was backing up to knock Thurman down, and then the vicious body shot that Pacquiao was able to hurt Thurman in. I think it was the 10th round. I think he was able to hurt Thurman in. Those are 2 signature punches of that fight, and he was able to win that fight in a very competitive and very back and forth battle. I think this fight is going to be similar to that fight in that aspect. I think it's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows. I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth as both fighters have high IQ. Mikey Garcia is a very smart fighter, man. Very smart, very technically sound, and like I said, he has very good timing. And his style is going to give Manny Pacquiao problems, just like Marquez's style gave Pacquiao problems. Only thing you worry about with Garcia, like I said earlier, he don't have the power. Marquez had that power to gain Pacquiao's respect. Even before the knockout in the fourth fight, he dropped Pacquiao earlier in that fight. I think it was his 2nd or 3rd round with an overhand right. So he showed in that fight that his power carried, and he instantly got Pacquiao respect, even though Pacquiao came back and dropped him in that fight to even it up until he got ultimately knocked out. So that was a good fight, good matchup. I think it's going to happen between Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez. Like I said, I think it'll be a good fight, a good entertaining fight. I think it'll do good numbers on pay-per-view. They probably can put that fight possibly in Las Vegas. Maybe outside chance they put that fight in Dallas. But those probably the two main places. Those are the two. My bad, my TV just popped on. Those are the two main issues. Those are the two main front runners for that fight. So we'll see what transpires. But that's what I'm hearing next, man. I'm hearing Manny Pacquiao versus Mikey Garcia, January of 2020 is the next fight. And I'm also hearing that. As you probably heard if you watched the fight, man, Danny Garcia got in the ring and challenged Errol Spence. And that's probably a fight that's probably going to take place sometime in early spring, I would say, of 2020. They're not going to do two pay-per-views in the early 2020. I would say that fight maybe more toward March, April, somewhere towards March over there, maybe April. They probably try to do that fight after March Madness. You know, they try to do that fight in March, man. A lot of people is gearing up for the March Madness. You got that tournament, man. That's probably the best thing going in sports outside of the Super Bowl. So maybe they do Garcia, Errol Spence in April, and they do Manny and Mikey in January. That's just my. That's what I'm hearing. Let's leave it at that. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing through the grapevine for those two fights. So we'll see what transpires. But a good fight last night between Errol and Sean Porter, as I did the post-fight analysis and breakdown of that fight, man. Epic matchup, and it's going to lead to great fights. As we almost in a de facto, 147-pound tournament. You know, as we got going on. Hopefully we can start getting these winners fighting each other. But these fights are leading to other fights. And like this fight last night is going to lead to some more big-time fights at 147. We got the one guy sitting on the outside looking in, and Terrence Bud Crawford. Hopefully, Bob Arab can throw enough money at Al Heyman to get one of those guys from the PBC roster to come over there and fight Terrence Crawford, man. You might have to overpay for Ugas. You might have to overpay for Sergey Lipinets, man. But you got to get at least one of those guys, man. Those guys are top 10 welterweights right now, man, and those guys are probably definitely top 5, top 6 fighters at least on the PBC roster as far as welterweights. So they need to maybe look at trying to pluck those guys from the PBC and get those guys for Terrence Crawford, man, because you can't have Terrence fighting. Okay, I understand he got to fight Green Machine, get rid of his mandatory, but after that you can't have him fighting, Best Poustin or somebody, for the WBA regular. That's not gonna get it, man. You can't have that. You can't go from Kavalauskas to another unknown in Best Poustin. They need to get him fighting guys that have at least somewhat established their name at the welterweight division. Ugas beat Omar Figueroa. He's been in there with he's beat James. He's beat John James. That's another guy that they can look at maybe bringing over for Terrence Crawford. John James, you might have to overpay for him. John James, Lipinets, Ugas. But Ugas beat John James. He's been in there with some good fighters. He's got some good wins. So, you might have to see if you can pluck him. Opportunity to to win a belt, the WBO belt. Maybe Ugas go over there for the right amount of money. So we'll see what happens. But it was a good night of boxing. I'm going to be doing some more videos as the days and weeks come, because there's a lot of things happening in boxing. A lot of things happening, especially in the welterweight division. Right now, the welterweight division and the heavyweight division are the two glamour divisions, man. That's what's really popping right now as far as boxing, man. They're carrying the sport right now, and they got a lot of fights coming up. As you know, if you don't know, they announced yesterday the Deontay Wilder versus King. Well, yeah, the Deontay Wilder versus Luis King Kong Ortiz fight on November 23rd. That fight's going to be in Las Vegas. And you got Leo Santa Cruz is going to be on the co-main event fighting Flores. That's a fight that they've been talking about for the last year. So they finally going to make that fight, as Santa Cruz is going to move up to 135 pounds and fight for the WBA lightweight title. My bad, the WBA junior lightweight title. It'll be 130 pounds. So that's going to be the co-main event, and they're going to have some more fighters fighting on another card. They're going to announce in the coming days and coming weeks. So we'll see what happens, man. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. Holla.